Your little
We'll
potato.
do this. Little starch never hurt anyone. I can always turn my camera off.
This man is carrying a loaded weapon. You have the highest spermatozoan count we've ever tested.
Must have been all that fiber I ate when I was a kid.
Now, MedTech's main assignment is to locate and impregnate fertile women in the wastelands. Do you feel up to it?
We're going to Frogtown.
Haley, you just fucked up my ass shot off back there. Damn, I hope you know what you're doing.
You boys are gonna eat dirt or lead?
I don't know how to thank you for helping us.
I do.
Right back.
I gotta tell you, you are one weird dude.
Well, maybe you ought to try making love to a complete stranger in the middle of a hostile mutant territory. See how you like it.
I just thought a man of your reputation might still be hungry.
You signed a contract.
Yeah, to fuck for freedom, but I ain't beating my maker in Frogtown. That's not in the contract. How am I supposed to, you know?
There's a flap.
Have you seen that on Tubi? Shadow Hawk?
Yeah. It's
Have you? Yeah.
It's a classic. It's a cult classic.
Okay. Well, I don't think I've ever seen it. I recognize her from Conan the Barbarian, you know, minus the face paint, the camouflage striping, you know. You remember her?
No, it's not the same girl.
I'm great with faces.
You're thinking of Brigitte Nielsen.
Okay.
The one that played Red Sonja? Is that who you're talking about? Or are you talking about?
No, I said Conan.
Oh, she was in the original Conan? I don't remember her.
Yeah, with the black face stripes, you know, the tiger stripes or whatever at one point when they go undercover, sword wielder. Hell yeah. Either that or in the second one.
Maybe she was. Okay. I wasn't thinking of her. I was thinking of the other.
Because I haven't seen her in anything else, you know, so.
She's. I know the name. She was in a few things back in the day that Sandal Bergman.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I couldn't.
Birdman? Really?
Birdman? No, Bergman.
Was it Birdman? Bergman. Oh, okay. Did you know that Return to Frog Trail, Frogtown trailer? 1992. Here's the sequel. They actually had a sequel.
Oh shit! I don't think I've ever seen that one.
And you'll have to watch it.
They're greener. The time has come for the creatures of
They're green.
They're meaner. But these mutants.
You know that's a takeoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Major Jones to base. Come in, Fuzzy.
There he is.
Looks like something's moving down on the road. Fuzzy, I'm hit.
Sam, we got a problem. Jones reported being shot down.
Jones is my partner.
I gotta go look for him.
Boss, what's his name? Maniac Cop.
Partner, Dr. Spangle.
Was that his real face? I guess so, huh?
Yeah, he's got like megala
Elephant.
something or another.
Okay, elephantitis or something?
No, it's not something to do with his skeleton. The bones keep growing.
Okay, so he's probably passed away by now?
He might be by now, yeah.
I have accomplished it only day.
You must speed up the transformation process. Execute them all at sunrise.
The pride of the Texas Rocket Rangers.
Now, isn't that Lou Ferrigno right there?
I
That
can't
looks
tell.
like
Have
Lou
his face.
Ferrigno to me. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
It does. Yeah, it does look like him, doesn't it? Yeah.
The pride of the
There we go. Yeah, that's Lou. Wearing a little green.
Texas Rocket Rangers must escape the clutches of the evil Tsar.
Oh, hey, Dave. You can come in the back.
Liberate Frogtown
Oh.
from his army of mutants.
That wasn't you guys sitting out here for an hour, was it? Me and Mom, so SR pulled up at like 2 o'clock. And we were like, oh, that's home early because it kind of looks like your dad's car. And then nobody ever came in or anything. I was like, an hour later, I looked. No, I think it's like next door or something.
Anyway, that looks more of a dud than
How's
the
your
first
weekend, kiddo? All right?
Yeah, it was fun.
Tank Ferret in the house. Hey, Tank Ferret.
Hail, Tank Ferret. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to be on with Tank Ferret last night on the studio. I think he was there. It all blends together. I
caught a little bit of that last night before I went to bed, but not much.
Did you? I've got a little bit I want to do on this before I finish it, but that's what I did last night. And this is the one that's got the little flat end on the bottom, so I put that on the bottom. It wasn't cut exactly round. So
you gave him a club too.
I did? Oh, okay. Always a good time streaming with Rex. Yeah, I think Janet from Another Planet was reviewing that. Yes, that's why I brought it up. The first one on Tubi. You can watch it on Tubi. That's probably where you watched it, Shadowhawk. But now I don't know about the sequel.
What, Frogtown? Oh, dude, I saw that years ago, back in the late 80s or whatever, back when it was still at Blockbuster Video.
But I got to searching, and there's a sequel. So
I did. So. I didn't know there was a sequel.
I have to watch that. I forget the other movie where that guy that's got the big face. It's like, okay, that wasn't a prosthetic, or that wasn't, because that might have been a sci-fi thing. And I thought, well, wow, look at that face.
He did like he did like 3 of the Maniac Cop movies.
Okay.
So if you've seen any of those,
I'm aware of them, but no, I mean, but
he's been in a few other. Yeah, he's been in some other stuff. I just can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah.
Did you say that the sequel was on Tubi as well?
No, I said I did not know if it was. I did do a search. I could do a search. What was that? I'll just put in Frogtown, and certainly, that'll be close enough to bring it up and see if it's on there, because it might have returned to Frogtown. I did not notice. I'm not seeing it.
Top Eric? Oh, fun series, dude. They're 80s B movie horror movies, but they're a lot of fun.
I think I know the main guy that's in that. So you got Hell Comes to Frogtown. You do not have the Return to Frogtown or whatever. How to play an ogre in a small town. She Wolves of the Wasteland. Croaked. Limetown.
Croaked.
Yeah. Frogman, and a bunch of other stuff. And then you get into like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and Paddington too. Which I don't know what, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's kind of a mixture,
right,
of different stuff. So,
got hair everywhere.
But yeah, Tubi's got a lot on it. I'll have to I just don't watch that much TV on or off the, computer.
Yeah.
Eric and Boyd in the house. Say, Eric. Hello, Jonas. I take it Jonas is in the house. Or I'm seeing Tank Parrot say hi to Jonas.
I didn't see.
I'm not seeing a comment from Jonas, but they're saying hi to Jonas. So it must be, again, skipping some of the chat for me.
The StreamYard's being weird. Okay. It'll probably pop up in a minute or something. Yeah,
I always check out the B movies with the ladies, he says. Plenty on Tubi.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of good B movies on Tubi.
I hate when I don't get all the chats, though.
We were watching old Crazy Super Samurai Sunday movies today, dude. Like science fiction-y, the Japanese one. One of them was Alien versus Ninjas. That was pretty cool. And then the Tokyo Gore Police. That's another classic.
Tokyo Gore Police.
Yeah, that one's pretty wild, dude. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. Let me know what you think. I gotta.
Sounds fun, Shadow. Eric and Boyd says.
It's a good one, Eric.
There's Jonas. I see Jonas on YouTube, but not on StreamYard. So sorry about that.
Yeah,
Jonas.
I don't see him popping up in StreamYard at all.
I don't know why. You don't see all the comments. I thought we had corrected.
I don't know.
Well,
StreamYard's been supposedly upgrading, right? And they keep changing things up and whatever.
Speaking of upgrade, which this has nothing to do with that, but I got a knock at my door, and I never get a knock at my door. Nobody ever comes to my house except for my sister recently, or Elsie occasionally, or maybe Mike. Yeah, or Mike, who's my former roommate, comes over and looks at my computer very rarely. Haven't had him over in a while. Sometimes he'll show up. I haven't talked to him in a while. I guess I should check back with him.
He needs to just bring you a new computer, wouldn't he?
Well, now, Halder 6480 offered me one. Of course, he lives in Canada, so might have to start, an older, whatever. Hey, man, I get this John Buscema thing off the bat, and I'm going to be building that tonight. I'm going to start that campaign over on Fund My Comic. Do an exclusive month with them. I'm not going to start it. I'm not going to launch it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to start building it, putting in pictures, at least as placeholders, doing write-up and, with whatever scanned images I have, at least get it started, because that's going to be my next campaign, The Art of John Buscema.
Right.
Or I was thinking about putting the word unpublished in there, because all this stuff has never been published before.
Oh, dude. That's a selling point. Yeah, I would put that in there.
Yeah. He will be like,
even better, dude. Do something like the uncovered or the newly discovered, something like that. Not
newly discovered 25 years ago. Got it. Or whenever I picked that stuff up.
It doesn't matter if it's never been published before, but unpublished makes people could go either way. Well, okay, that's probably because it hit the editorial floor, and now they're just trying to make money later. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a greatest hits album where they come out with songs after the band, guys.
If we dropped everything in this first book, it would be mind blowing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I've got Savage Sword of Conan preliminary drawings from like almost, I think, issue 201 to the very last issue in 226. That's sort of the block that I have. Elsie has other stuff. Got to run and record this. Be back later. Okay, we'll pause the show for you.
Run.
Okay, that's not going to work. Anyway, we tried, Tank. Terry made it home. The knock at the door, that was her son. And so I never opened the front door. I go around back and come around. That way I can catch them by surprise. It's, anyway, I still had her car keys and garage opener. I don't know if they had
creeping around the corner with a shotgun. What you doing at my door, boy?
Yeah, well, he was already over there with her at the vehicle, and I was like, I thought that was you, so I brought the stuff out with me. I couldn't think of anybody else it would be, and I really wasn't expecting them till, next week. I mean, tomorrow at least. But they got home today. Went out, I guess, for flu. She's been in Houston, cancer, had surgery. I don't know. She may have somewhere else initially. They do have a lot of cancer stuff in Texas. So
yeah, they've got a few big cancer treatment centers in Houston.
Yeah, and I had my my friend girl, let's put it that way, that I would have liked to have married, but due to the cancer, we never did get married. Her part, not mine. Yeah, but takes two. She lost her left eye to cancer. I've talked to you about that before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if she's still alive. We haven't stayed in contact, but anyway, went through a lot with her on that. At one point, I thought she was dead, and she showed up about a month later at work. I was like, what are you still doing here? It was her cousin who passed away. I almost went to the funeral. I would have found out, but that would have quite a drive over to Tennessee. So I'm glad I didn't go.
Damn.
Anyway, she's back. I took that, and then I thought, right before the show, and I rung the doorbell. He didn't come to the back doorbell. She was all asleep, exhausted, in like a heating blanket on the couch, asleep. And so I left the mail there because I didn't think about it till yesterday because she didn't say, Rex, could you collect the mail like she usually does? And it slipped my memory, and she never did say, hey, are you getting my mail or text or anything?
Right.
So apparently he drove her to Memphis, flew over to Houston, flew back with her, and drove her back today. He left his car over there. Maybe at the airport. I guess at the airport. I don't know how.
Yeah, probably
that is.
Long-term parking. Yeah,
I guess.
LPVR.
Yeah. And that ain't cheap. Even 30 minutes parking is not cheap over there. I noticed. F that.
You're actually probably better off doing long-term at a
probably
airport than you are like the hourly.
Yeah, and you might get a medical break. I don't know. Going to pick up my mother, and as long as you verify,
yeah, you
I
might
don't
get
know.
something. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Or discount voucher or stuff. This piece will be in there, and I can tell from this one. This one has drawings on the back. Often he did stuff. John Buscema did stuff on the front and the back of some of these pieces we have. This one here is a very lightly sketched pirate. Just gestorial there, you can kind of see the other drawings bleed through. Or this one here, it was kind of cut. Why they cut these into sometimes odd shapes, I do not know, but it is signed. And we will take one of these nice signatures, and I've got some big signatures of his on pages that are larger than 17 by a half by 11 or whatever, and 17 by 11, and we'll just use his signature, the unpublished art of John Buscema, or whatever we call it, right? And use his signature for John Buscema, his own name, as if he wrote it.
The unseen art of John Buscema.
The unseen. That's great. There we go. Write it down, Rex. So I knew you would come through for me, buddy. I knew you'd come through for me.
It was brewing around.
That's why I brought it up.
It was brewing around. I just had to come up with the right.
I just haven't given it much thought. I mean, I probably would come up with unseen, but who knows?
Or is that never? Whatever. Whichever one it is.
I'll make sure you get a credit for it.
I'm fine. I don't need it.
Okay. I wasn't going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay. But we need a good title. And you think that's a good title, everybody? The Unseen Art of John Buscema. I'm basically doing this book. I'd like everybody to be able to see some of my collection, and it'll be part of LZ's collection. He may have more to contribute it than I do. Although he was kind of buying this stuff, I kind of picked up the slack. He kind of ran out of money, and I kept going till I ran out of money. And he was getting higher and higher and higher on the price because we were going in week after what?
Nothing. Sorry. Just looking at the chat.
Okay. Week after week, we were, buying him out completely, bidding on everything because it was bidding. That's where I picked up that book on Luving. There was only 60 of those, and you had to be part of that writer's contributor club or whatever to get a copy. Same thing with the Jack Kirby book. The Luving book is very small, page count. But now the Jack Kirby's like this, and I've never. It's in a sliding drawer in my bank safe, and the bank in that drawer is.
Yeah, and you can't open that safe, right?
Well, I'll get a locksmith this year, I promise. I just did a campaign that gives me more than $2 to live on, and I will, clear things out where they can get to the safe and get it. There's a couple of books. There's some stuff in there by LZ. I know there's a complete Ibis story. And these are big pages, big pages. I have to get way back here to show them on camera. From the Golden Age, a complete Ibis story. I think there's a complete Charlton, Fred Flintstone and Barney, story. That was featured in Charlton either in the early 70s or 60s, early 70s probably. But they're complete stories, and that Ibis story is a complete story. There's a couple of side books owned by LZ from Charlie Daniels, who's passed away now. He's had those in there. Yeah. He had some of that stuff in there probably for 10 years easy. But not all of it is his stuff. Like I've got that Jack Kirby book in there, which I didn't even unwrap. It's still in the original saran wrap or whatever they wrapped it up in to ship it to me. It's just I got it and put it in the safe. Be safe. I didn't even look through it, thumb through it. So, once I get look at it, very sorry. But you had to contribute articles and you had to be in that group, which was only 60 people, and that was the print run. It was never available for sale. So it's essays on Jack Kirby, different artists, Luving. They did some other books, and he was basically the guy that was selling the Conan pages, and other stuff by John Buscema and Sal Buscema, because I bought some of that, and Art Nodell. Apparently, he got some stuff maybe from Al, and I can't remember his last name. LZ's got his last name. He was the art dealer for all those artists. Martin O'Dell was the creator of Pillsbury Doughboy, and before that, in the Golden Age, he created Green Lantern, Alan Scott Green Lantern. So, and I got to meet him about that in 85 and 86, and I met his wife in 86. He brought his wife that year. Very short man, very short woman, but nice and generous, and was kind of getting back in the swing of things, and convention wise and stuff. And I'm glad some of the older creators that people just walk by and, oh, you're not Jim Lee, you're not Frank Miller, you're not at that time a young Mike Barron, a young Steve Rude, a Mike Zeck, Bill Sienkiewicz. These are names I'm telling. Every name I'm saying here, Frank Miller, all these I've met. Dan Jurgens, Steve Lytle, who's passed away sadly. John Romita Sr. and Jr., Stan Lee. I almost got to meet Jerry Siegel, I believe, Superman, the creator of Superman. Cool. Yeah. But he was sick that week, and we didn't get to see him. He was supposed to be the special guest that year, but he didn't show up, sadly. I think the special guest was Stan Lee, and I didn't meet him the next year. But and Jerry Ordway, met him, and Randy Zimmerman, got to meet him back in 85, 86. He was up there at that convention. Figured that out when talking to him. Mike Barron had just started, and Steve Root had just started with First Comics from Capitol, because the first 3 were printed with Capitol.
Oh,
okay. And very short, printing. I mean, short. Capitol didn't do many at all. Did the original Whisper, and then that went to First. I guess most of the Capitol things that were published by Capitol went to First Comics, which First Comics still around. Didn't know that till Mike Barron told us, last year.
Right. Yeah.
Sometime. But they rarely publish anything. I have seen 1 or 2 things since then, and I was like, wow, blown away that they were still around. Howder 6480, I will take you up on that computer. We'll have to get together about that to get you some shipping money or something. We'll see.
Real healthy.
Very generous offer. Maybe I'll trade you my Commodore 95. No, it's not Commodore. What is it? It's compact. It's compact. I still got it. It still plays games. I won't do that. It still plays Heroes. I don't know. Maybe I'll go in there and play that. I like that. The little goblins come out. It's slow as hell, but it's fun.
What game is it?
Heroes something.
Huh.
It goes with orcs and goblins, and it's a lot of fun. A friend of mine had it, and
is it like the regular video game? I think it was like Hero Quest or something like that. You're like a little knight, kind of a squat little guy. No.
I haven't played it in a while, so I can't do it.
Different game I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm. It'd probably take a while for it just to boot up if I turned it on. I had it on for years and never used it, and I thought, all the lightning storms that come in, different stuff, I could blow out the computer, so I'll just turn it off. But I had it running for years and never used it. Still runs great, just slower. It's got I did have it upgraded with a great CD burner in it. Very fast.
There you go.
Minutes or less, they can have a CD, rip.
Of course, nobody listens to CDs anymore. You got all your music,
I don't know what the last one that I bought was, but I've actually got a CD ripper, that can do, it could do CDs or like transfer
DVD.
or it can do. We used to make copies of the TV show, that I used to edit and send to the TV station, which was not convenient because it wasn't here in town. It was 45 minutes out of town as you go into Paragould. It's not that far away, but it was, so I'd take like mini episodes, like 6 over there to make the trip worthwhile. I listened to CDs. It's been a while since I played them. Yeah, I've got some.
I still got a CD player and a stack of CDs, but it's just so much easier to just pull up a song on my phone,
Yeah, the death of physical media. I get it.
Well, my radio's Bluetooth now, so I can just Bluetooth it right over to the stereo, and it sounds great. I don't have to listen to it off the crappy little, phone speaker. So it is what it is, man. It's convenient.
It is what it is. Those little golden fuzzy things blow out of oak trees, cover everything. Wide up.
Yeah, it's pollen.
Yeah, pollen. Whatever. It's pollen on a rod on a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just everywhere, and they're blowing. The wind's blowing good today, and they're blowing in it. But I had washed some underwear early this morning, and I don't have my dryer fixed yet. It is dry enough to call somebody to come through here now, and check out my dryer. So I'll be doing that this week early, probably tomorrow, and get that fixed and or looked at and see if we need to get a new dryer altogether. I don't know yet. And so I have my wet underwear, my damp underwear anyway, out on a blanket, getting covered by that goldenrod stuff, whatever. I had to shake it out, but it's drying in the sun. So drying some underwear outside on the patio where the neighbors can't see it, of course. I strategically put the trash bins and recycle bin, where they can kind of block my undies, I'm sure they don't want to see a grown man's undies drying in the sun.
Oh, sure.
Drying in the sun. I love that song. Oh, my. So, I'll probably do a draw
later. He might even still be alive. I don't
know. Not sure on that one.
Billy Thorpe? Yeah, I'm not sure on that
Billy
one.
Thorpe, I think he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a sequel to that song.
Yeah.
And that was his first major hit. He's like Billy. He's like Billy. He's like who's the oldest BG? Barry Gibb. He was big in Australia long before he came to America, but that was his first big song in America. And the Bee Gees were big. I mean, from childhood, early '61, they had hit after hit. Kind of like Sweet. Sweet was real big in Britain, and they made a splash over here, but not anything near like they were in other countries. We don't think about that.
Yeah, I like Sweet quite a bit, actually. But
even on movies, like let's see, what movie was it? There was a movie, and they were going, it kind of tanked in America and the UK, but it was big in France. They love it in France, and every time he goes to France, it's like, wow, they roll out the "I'm Superstar" there, because they love that movie. I don't know why. So you don't think about that, different countries liking, something that might be popular here may be a dud over there. Something that tanks over here may be very popular in their country. So it's just a matter of
the Japanese are huge fans of heavy metal music. They love Kiss. They love Iron Maiden. Megadeth. And those guys go to Japan and they get treated like royalty, man.
Yeah. And so they subsequently probably do more tours over there, world tours, whatever.
And they make a shit ton of money when they go over there too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So why not? I mean, the Monkees were real big in, I'm thinking China or Japan or both.
They were big.
Every time they went over there, they were like, wow, superstars ever since they came out in the 60s. I mean, Mickey probably still goes over there and by himself.
No, the Japanese are still that way with Iron Maiden, even after 35, 40 years they've been together now. Those guys just
say what you will, they weren't a real band, blah blah blah. I love the Monkees. Look, them and the Beatles, and maybe that's why I like the Beatles over the Rolling Stones, Shadowhawk, because I saw Yellow Submarine, I saw some of their movies or heard their music during that time on TV when I was very young and impressionable, probably right before you were born.
Could be.
Man. Yeah. Even though I'm just a couple of years older than you, I still remember back to then. Now, people can call BS, but my family, if they were still alive, they would tell you, yes, Rex got an excellent memory for certain things, and I really do. I totally blow their mind about, and especially when it comes to TV, because TV was such a big part of my life. That was really my escape to another world. Because let's face it, where I'm living now, it's still Nowheresville,
Right.
But back then it really was. And back, say 20 years in the 40s, it really, really was. Everything was like non-paved and, gravel and hard to get to. And,
you're out in the country a little bit, right?
Huh?
Said you're out in the country there a little bit.
Well, I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. Anyway, I had to work that in there. A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
I set them up, you knock them down.
You set them up, I'll knock them down. That's right. I was thinking about some more stuff to add to the big bundle. You know, I probably need to. Well, I mean, look, man, I'm going to sell that big bundle to someone. And there's going to be more than one available. But I've got
Johnny, we need
I've got a ash can, so I'll probably include an ash can. And I was thinking, stuff that I've already got printed up, like the postcards. This is the very first postcard. It's laminated, so they are a little bent. You'd have to press them out, or I would before I sent them. Anyway, with Bog there and Zob up there, observing him in the swamp. And then there were only 150 of these made, and these were never released or for sale. I sold one. That's my first dollar, and I have it up there. The first dollar I ever made with anything I published. And I sold that to our secretary at work. She wanted one, so I sold her one. And this was the second one. I only made 50 of these. And we did a lot of work on this, reversal of the colors, because this was done the same way, scratch artwork, kind of a reversal, because I went all dark with that with colors, and then I went with this. It's still colorful, but it's hopefully the potato cam. I did leave some of it that kind of came out on his arm and leg there. Did leave some of that on there just because I thought it was cool, shading and whatnot and white. The original scratch art to those the first one there is up hanging on my bedroom wall, and the other one is somewhere, board and bag protected. I usually put those scratch art in boards and bags so they don't get scuffed, and because it's almost like working on wax or something, and you get the black on your hands and on your drawing board and stuff. But just hanging out at the house, trying to think of not just about the campaign, but also some story ideas and stuff. Was thinking about, had this in there, and was kind of having my morning coffee or whatever, and looking at this and saying, okay, I need to do that. I kind of started that, but it's all green to make it pop a little bit more. Put in some shadow here. I decided to make these kind of like willow trees, so I'd put a trunk down on these, This is his shoulders, but it does kind of look like the horizon line, That is his shoulders, though. And I bought these. These are $1.25 at the dollar store, and they're supposed to be permanent. There you go. So just a colorful set. But now I don't know if I'm letting them. I've used the green a couple times, and it's this green here, this heavy green, that I did as outward, neck, and it tends to bleed or kind of, not get as, dry crisp when you do other things around it. I don't know. It's not. It's almost acts like a water base. So, but it is supposed to be permanent. So I'm not very impressed with those. But it is what it is. What it is. What it is. What it is.
Yes.
I only know with that song because I heard Rozzy playing it. He's kind of got a video clip of that. So,
okay.
Then I know this. Tree Goblin. That's what I'm talking about, because he's always, over there with Rozzy and other places too. I'll eventually get around to this. I hope to get to some acrylic painting here, at some point, and do some more painting, because I haven't done some painting in a couple of years. Maybe since 2022. I'm not sure. I can't remember what small Madonna child canvases, but it's been a while.
Been at least a couple of years, because I know you haven't done anything acrylic was.
Yeah, painting. Yeah, I want to make an area, and that's what I'll be working on the next half month. The rest of this month is cleaning. Redoing this background, cleaning this room, cleaning that room, cleaning those rooms, whatever. Getting everything in order before I have to go back to work. And I'll try and keep up the streaming. But I am working on the book and future books. Writing, putting ideas down. That takes thinking, and I know that that's going to go down when I'm working. Of course, sometimes it's good to come home tired and exhausted, because usually when I wake up from that state, I have a creative run. Don't ask me why. But sometimes it works out good.
Yeah, I mean, if it works for you, it works for you.
Sometimes I just wake up tired from being tired.
There you
and
go.
That's no good.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't do good to get, to the point where you wake up and you're still tired, and you've done pushed yourself too far at that point.
What'd you grill last night?
We didn't. We ended up just cooking inside, and we did breakfast for dinner last night.
See, that's always great.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days ago, I heated up Anna's meal that she had left over from Waffle House. Like eggs and hash browns and bacon. Can't go wrong there.
Did you go to a Waffle House, or did you go to IHOP?
We went to both.
Oh, you went to both? No.
Yeah, we ordered a pizza. We got ice cream.
Waffle House is good stuff, man. But you're taking your life in your hands when you go in there.
We've got some good ones here that are very clean, and
No, I mean just because the other clientele, man, you're only seeing videos of like fights and shootings and all kinds of crazy shit at the Waffle House.
Yeah, not around here, thankfully. Actually, they've got some nice people.
Yeah, when I was living in Houston, I used to hit Waffle House, at least probably once or twice a month,
Well, when Elsie comes in, he likes to get the Raisin Bran and grits, and I forget what else, but he always gets the same thing. It's sort of that breakfast type thing.
Yeah, get the hash browns with what they call them, smothered, covered, and something.
Yeah, hash browns are hard. Every time I try and do hash browns here at the house, it's very hard to get them crispy like you want without overcooking them, or hash browns are an art into themselves.
Yeah, it seems like only a good diner can do hash browns, right?
If you're doing just hash browns. Now, if you're doing things with cheese and casserole style, you could probably do hash browns okay, because they become more
right. But that's
potato at that point.
It's not
you're
really,
not doing crispy hash.
But you gotta have like a nice like a
smother
flat top griddle,
flat top it.
Do hash browns right.
You know how they clean those big grills, right? Most of them, to get the grease off and stuff to build up.
Onion?
They might do it with some onion. I've not heard of that, but
no.
Usually it's a block of ice. You heat it up and you get a block of ice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That would kind of steam it off,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But actually, my ex-mother-in-law back in the day taught me if you take a big old, like a white onion, cut it in half, and you stick it on, like a grill fork.
Mm-hmm.
And you heat up the grill on your charcoal grill, and then just rub that onion over the top of it. It takes off all that old residue and everything on there, and that leaves a nice little onion scent. And I usually just leave the half of onion on there so that it smokes into the meat while it's.
I'm thinking about doing a meatloaf. My sister brought me in a freezer bag. Of course, she brought some like cold cuts and stuff to eat and whatnot, in the room. And stuff with her, one of those bags to keep things cold.
Mm-hmm.
And she brought me like some noodles, a bag of pinto beans, and some. I told her about. She made me spaghetti noodles and sauce, canned, and that turkey meat, that shove of turkey meat, and so I've got the ingredients either to do like meatloaf or do like spaghetti. But I've got onions. I've got like 2 or 3 red onions that I haven't used, and that would go great with meatloaf.
There you go.
But I don't have any eggs to bind it. But now I can use butter and crackers.
Yes, you can use that.
Because that's what I was told. I think, who was that? Tank Ferret or somebody told me that, or maybe it was, I'm not sure who it was that told me that. I want to try that, actually.
Yeah. But yeah,
I could see where that would work.
Yeah, because you're basically just using, fat instead of the egg.
Mm-hmm. So I may give that a try. I haven't been in a cooking mood, which is unusual for me, for a while. I guess maybe she kind of got me out of that. It was kind of nice just to pal around and go eat.
Yeah, it's
enjoy your day. We did a lot of running around.
Yeah. Well, you guys were, trying to make up for lost time.
Yeah. Yeah, I may try and get her on the phone maybe tomorrow on the show and talk to her.
Yeah, it's too bad we didn't get to have her on stream for a minute.
Yeah, she was going to leave a little bit. She's kind of blurry with one eye, right? So she's kind of got one good eye, one bad. And she doesn't like to drive at night. Can't see to drive hardly.
Right.
So she wanted to make sure she got home. And she did, probably about an hour and a half before sundown.
Well, that's good. She made it all safe and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important thing.
You want to pop out just for a second for the echo and come back?
Sure.
Okay. Just thought I'd let you know. See if I have any world-shaking news. Of course I don't. Walmart has released a statement informing DC fans that all the McFarlane toy Supergirl figures were stolen while in transit. Inside job? I don't know. It's kind of wild. So I guess that happens, with some of those 18-wheelers. That's what the Supergirl. I don't know. Is there a premium on Todd McFarlane's Supergirls? Are they limited or something? I don't know. You tell me. But apparently stolen in transit. So that's kind of in the news a little bit. This was a cool ad. My first exposure to Marvel characters had to be the 1966 cartoons, which weren't good at all. But, the reprints of stories or stuff kind of animated, but, at least I got to see these characters and some of the other villains and stuff, other side characters, very early on. Still don't have all those. I'd like to get all those. You gotta love George Perez, White Tiger. I need to get those magazines. Love White Tiger just simply because George Perez drew it very early on. You gotta love that black and white and gray tone, from the magazines. I mean,
that's
still.
awesome, bro.
Well, one of my favorite pieces, and that piece there was inked by Jack Abel. One of my favorite pieces of George Perez was, and Jack Abel from Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, is this piece here, where he's over the city and the buildings spell out his name. That's the White Tiger I remember. Why in the TV shows or movies they want to make him female, I don't know, but he was always an underutilized character. He did show up in some of those early Defenders. Here's your Bernie Wrightson piece, Shadow. Are you paying attention? Hey, Paulus Arts.
I'm listening.
There we go. There we go. From
Oh,
Frankenstein.
Cool. Yep. I know that piece.
Omer Glitch in the house.
Hey, Omer. What up? What up?
And I do have another one. Just let me bring it up here. In fact, it's the first.
Hey, old Paulie. It's good to see you, sir.
Uh,
Howder, I think I said hi. Anyway, not
Nicholas Gear said the artist of my childhood, Graham Nolan, is joining Andy Smith and Aaron Lopresti for cover on issue 4. So this is the Graham Nolan cover for Relentless Tin Soldier. Very cool.
All right.
Gorilla cover. Looks like he's being attacked by the Changeling because he's green, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
and he had an Ant-Man sort of homage done by Scott McDaniel, rather. So he's really leveling up. If he's playing Graham Nolan, Aaron Lopresti, and Andy Smith, wow, for covers on, he's really coming along with Relentless Tin Soldier.
I don't know. That's great, dude.
He's leveling up and really putting some stuff into
nice.
it. Here's Gary Martin's Kitty Pryde. That's nice.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's sharp.
Yeah, she looks a little ethnic there, just the lips and like maybe she's a black girl there. I don't know. It's in the rounded nose, just the features, To me, he doesn't exactly capture Kitty, but I've seen her depicted like that. Both, you're gonna get.
John Byrne kind of accentuated her lips and stuff sometimes, depending on that. Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Simon Bisley original artwork, something he did there. You were talking about knights and armor, and that's pretty wild because I was thinking about a storyline where people are either armored up or sort of stone skinned. But yeah, that's cool. Almost looks like a medieval
broadsword right through the head, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, and it's not quite cutting him yet, but it's getting ready to lop off his head. And I love that.
It looks like it's through the bottom of his chin and out the top of his head, dude. That's what it looked like to me.
All right. Old British ad here. That's pretty cool with
Captain
Britain. Yeah, for the first time in any comic, Britain's own superhero.
What was that? Oh shit! What was the other guy's name? Union Jack. I always liked his
Union Jack. I love Union Jack from the Invaders. Hell yeah!
He had such a cool look, man.
Yeah, I experienced him long before Captain Britain. Now Russ Leach's favorite, and this is from his childhood, is Captain Britain. So I can get that from the UK. Yeah. Superman number 75 sold more than 6 million copies and is the second best-selling comic book issue of all time, trailing only X-Men number 1, which sold 8 million copies in 1991.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal at the time, the death of Superman.
Oh, I got all those.
Yeah, I guess I say what you will, and I say, Hush 2, he's phoning it in. Jim Lee this, Jim Lee that, all that, all those that used to go and stroke me off and all that, back in the day, Jim Lee, and now they're hating on Jim Lee. I don't know, because of, destroying, and Tank Ferret even said something about it recently, about how do you destroy DC even quicker. Jim Lee, something like that. Anyway, haters all of a sudden, in the last few years for Jim Lee. Back in the day, I would have liked to have heard him in the early 90s. Oh, Jim Lee, that's what it sounds like.
I haven't seen enough of his stuff lately to know, but from what I hear,
I may be right.
From what I heard, he's getting really lazy with the way he does.
But what I'm saying is, he's got and he did the interior artwork to that X-Men book, didn't he? X-Men
back
number
in the
one that
day,
had the
X-Men
Lincoln
number one,
cover.
I think he did the whole issue, yeah.
So he did the whole issue in the Lincoln covers, 5 inking cut, and even a variant on that one for the direct or the newsstand, where Wolverine's claws wouldn't go through Captain America's head, through that
Yeah, they
box
changed it, yeah.
on the direct issue. Yeah, they took out the claws on that variant. Jim Lee used to stroke me off. Is what I heard. Okay, Paulus. I saw that Bisley and had to save it. Well, a high res version, yeah. She looked black. I thought so. Little, ethnicity there, or Puerto Rican or something.
All I know is you don't turn your back on Jim Lee and leave him alone with your wife. That's all I know.
Evolution of the Batmobile. This was pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to try and show it on Choppy Ass Theater. Should I try it?
I mean,
sort of
it's Choppy Ass Theater. Why not?
Okay, Choppy Ass
We
Theater.
tried
We're going to do Choppy Ass. Yeah.
1939.
You've been warned. Yeah, from the movies,
Oh, this is that like transforming one. Yeah, you showed me this before. That's cool.
No, not this particular one. Yeah, 1966 version, which was it Buick Futura? Who did the Futura?
Buick and her Oldsmobile. I can't remember which one it was for sure.
Okay. More modern.
I think you're right. I think it was a Buick.
Did you like this design? You had to like this design when it came out.
Yeah, the 89 Batman. Yeah, that was cool.
Now is that Batmobile? Now come on, that's the Batwing. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know why they're including that
in the
Batmobile. But then the other one was it looked like the armored car almost. Okay, this Batman. Forever.
Val Kilmer, his movie, but now this is it wasn't this, but it was the Clooney one that had the fin on the back that moved like it was rubber, and it was rubber.
Yeah.
Because he would take corners and it would bend.
Well, that should be the next one they show is the Clooney.
And that's the one that kind of featured Robin as well, right? Okay, maybe that one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Batman and Robin. Yep, that's this one.
Yeah. And that one kind of it looks badass, but
I like Christian Bale's Batmobile was cool as fuck, dude. That thing was like an armored car more than just
right here.
This one, yeah, that
this
thing
was
cool.
Definitely a departure, from the Batmobile altogether. Yeah,
it's the Bat Tank.
Again, not really a Batmobile here. The Bat Rider. What a poor name.
That was like another like a hovercraft type thing or something.
Yeah, I've got some.
I think that was more from the cartoons, wasn't it? That's not like in the movie.
No. Dark Knight Rises with Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They just call it the Bat, but they got in brackets there, Bat Rider. And they did make a all these they've made Matchbox or Hot Wheels of,
sure.
Here's the Ben Affleck car from Batman versus Superman.
I didn't even remember what that one looked like. It's okay.
Well, here you go with Robert Pattinson.
And then they went back to like more of a muscle car.
Like a muscle car, yeah. I mean, what would you say? A Cougar, a Mercury? What the hell?
It kind of looks like a combination between an old Mercury Cougar and a Camaro. Like if you blended them together.
Right.
I don't know.
And then 1939, the boxcar.
Yeah, that's back to the.
That was in the comics. That was in the comic books, 1939.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Batmobile from the new Batman movie. I just that Robert Pattinson is fucking. That's not Batman. Sorry.
Now I've got some corgis like this. Like I have this in a corgi. I've never shown
He's a
them.
fancy, sparkly
I
vampire, but he's
misplaced them in the
not
house
Batman.
or somewhere. I've got like 5 of those corgi Batmobiles. They released a series of all those through the years, and some I like, some I didn't. I just bought the ones, and usually they were the retro ones that I liked. That I bought.
Huh? No. All right, fancy.
Batwing is cool though. Animated series was cool too. I like a lot of the Batman. Most of the animated stuff I like.
I like most of
all
it.
of it
Yeah,
in its way. Yeah,
but it's not
I
really a
like some of it more than
Batmobile
others.
when it's flying.
You know what I didn't see? See now that's Batman kind of through the movies. Okay,
Right.
That's not the Batmobile. That's not really showing you like the animated ones because the animated Brave and the Bold that was out 3 seasons that I really liked. It's got a nice car design, and they didn't show it. If you put in the animated versions, you get a lot more different, variety there.
And the old Batman animated series had a pretty cool Batmobile in it too.
Mm-hmm.
The old school. What was that, Warner Brothers or whatever, the first one?
Little Sunday Betty Page for you here. Yeah, that's
Little Jungle Girl action. Dun, dun, dun,
I don't know. Little merry-go-round.
She's on the pole already. Boys, keep your daughters off the pole.
Well, at least take an umbrella. Just saying.
Oh my.
Oh my. Did you buy Epic Illustrated? I started buying it with the John Byrne story, the Last Galactus story. I think it was.
Dude, I just bought them whenever I could find them. It was one of the things that was back in the spinner rack days. If I found one, I'd grab it if I had the money, or if I could talk my dad into it. Dad, I need this book.
That's a good one to feature because it has an octopi, and I usually, when I see octopus artwork, I send it to Ryan James, and I am wearing my Octagon Comics shirt here that he did for every
Ryan's been
backer
posting
just for free.
Some Octagon 2 pages. I don't know if you've been seeing those or not, Rex.
I have not. No, I haven't seen them at all. No.
He's been posting a few things here and there, looking pretty good.
1997, 21-year-old Tiger Woods became the youngest golfer to win the Masters tournament.
Yeah, I remember that.
And in 1986, I remember that, but I also remember in 1986, 46-year-old Jack Nicholson became the oldest golfer to win the Masters tournament. I also remember that. That was a big deal.
Yeah, that was a big deal too.
At 46, because I think on that one, I'm not sure. Did he have to? He had some stiff. Arnold Palmer was still,
I believe he had some pretty good competition going.
He did. Yeah, and I don't know about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods wasn't doing it at that time.
I don't know if Tiger. He might have been in.
Because 21 years old in 1997. Yeah, 86. He's
no, he wasn't. Yeah, so he wasn't even in the league yet.
Yeah.
So.
Today in 1974, Benny and the Jets by Elton John reached number 1 on the top 100. This date in 1976, bicentennial year, in celebration of the bicentennial, the United States Treasury Department reissued the $2 bill. I remember that.
Yeah, they weren't very popular.
They weren't very popular. You can still get them today. You probably have to go to a bank and ask for them today. You don't see very many out in circulation.
They're actually worth like about $2.50 a piece. If you can find them, you can actually sell them and make about 50
cents.
So
I need to go to the bank and convert and become a millionaire. Okay.
Yeah. If you find enough of them, I guess.
In April 1982, the Fat Albert Easter special first aired. I do not remember that one, and I may even watch it. Hey, is Fat Albert, and we got an Easter special for you. CBS. I don't know if I saw that or not. Probably.
Oh, probably. I don't remember it right offhand.
I have my mind wiped up.
I would like the chocolate bunnies.
If anybody ever did that besides Cosby,
Bill Cosby?
they would be called racists.
Anyway. Oh yeah, we'd be. We'll probably be shut down in a minute.
Actor, comic, writer, and director Don Adams missed it by that much. Born 1923, remembered for his role as Maxwell Smart, Agent 86 in the TV series Get Smart from 65, the year I was born, to 70. So you know I watched this, loved it. He also did TV cartoon voices. Yeah, he was Tennessee Tuxedo.
Tuxedo.
Wasn't he Inspector Gadget?
Mm-hmm.
He was Inspector Gadget, I think.
Yeah.
Passed in 2000.
Well, I don't know if it was him or if they had somebody imitating him for Inspector Gadget. I think it might have been an imitator.
He died in 2005 at age 82.
And that was Don. What was his last name? Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, actor, director, and sculptor Tony Dow.
Mr. Whoopi.
I'm going to check your memory. Who is Tony Dow? D-O-W.
Tony Dow. Oh, why do I know that name? Tony Dow. Tony Dow.
Hey, Gary. Backlink is cool.
I think he was like a child actor on some TV show.
You are correct. The Beaver. The older brother on the Beaver.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Brother. I just thought I would check your knowledge clock.
I knew that name. Oh, the Beaver's brother. What was it?
Yeah, the older
Wally.
Brother.
It was Wally.
Apparently he went into sculpting. That's pretty cool.
Oh wow, that's neat.
For his
well, at least he didn't get like all fucked up from being a child actor, and
yeah,
there's a lot of bad stories out there about those guys,
man. Yeah, he was Wally in Leave It to Beaver from 57 to 63. Born in 1945. In the 1990s, suffered from depression. Dow came out to help others seek treatment. Passed in 2022, age 77, battling cancer, apparently. Lyle Wagner. Now, he's the Batman that nobody talks about. Born in 1935. I'll explain that here in a minute. Remembered for his TV role on the Carol Burnett show. That's where I remember him from, 67 to 74.
That's where I remember him.
And Wonder Woman. He was Trevor.
Yeah.
1975 to 79. Numerous other TV series, usually appearing as a hunk. Passed in 2022 at age 84. Here he is, Lyle Wagner. He almost was, but not quite, was the 1966 Batman. He did try out for it, and there is film footage of him doing the tryout for Batman TV show, but he was beat out by Adam West, and here he is in the Bat from a clip there.
Oh,
or he did try out for Batman and was beat out.
He ended up being on Wonder Woman, right? Yeah, you said it as
he was
Trevor Kyle.
Or he was the love interest of Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I think it's Trevor Kyle or something like that.
No, it's not Trevor Kyle.
Okay, whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Where am I getting that name from? You're so smart.
I don't know. I don't know where you're getting that name from. It's not Trevor Kyle.
No, it's Trevor something else.
Knowing you, it's somebody that sang music, Trevor Kyle.
Nah, who knows?
On the spinner rack today in 1976, one of the first comic books that I bought, Amazing Spider-Man, one of the first one, maybe my first. I don't know if this is my first or maybe. No, it wasn't my first, but it was close.
You said Avengers was your first.
Avengers got me collecting, but then after that, this came after this. This is toward the end of the 25 cents. It still says 25 cents though. So this was very early on. My first Amazing Spider-Man was bought The only, let's see, 149, which began the Clone Saga. But yeah, I got this. I got a couple of issues of this. Ross Andrew was drawing it at the time. Although this is a Gil Kane cover, I believe. On this one, Dr. Octopus and Hammerhead and the Jackal were sort of the villains that I enjoyed as a kid, early on with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You got to love this. I mean, on Saturdays of the weekend or Sunday, I mean, I'd love to spend a day with it.
Yeah,
to watch all the Apes movie. You'd be watching for a while. Those run for a while. I mean, look, 11 in the afternoon.
Yeah, dude, you'd be you'd be spending the day there, man.
About half a day there watching TV. Yeah.
5 movies. Oh yeah, shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the Ape movies, and then you
and they were probably what
the
90
animated. You could do the Apes
They're probably
animated,
90
and
minutes.
you could do the TV show. Here's your werewolf representation for today. Always thinking of you, Shadowhawk.
Ow. Altered Beast. Okay, cool. I like it.
Yeah. It's good to see you, Carrie. Hope you're doing all right.
Oi, Samuel, Carrie.
One of the big treasury editions I bought, I believe, growing up. It was kind of hit or miss.
No, I never got this one.
He did not. I asked him that earlier. He did not do barbecue. He wound up doing. But are you going to grill sometime this week, Shadow?
Really, all weather dependent at the moment. It's it's springtime, so there's no telling when it's going to rain. So we might be doing a bonfire and doing a little grilling tonight. It depends. We haven't even decided on the menu yet. So. But I got portobello mushrooms. I got baby asparagus.
Yeah, it really depends on what you have in the house, right?
Yeah.
For one thing.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. If we don't grill tonight, I mean, once the weather gets nice, I'd probably grill like 5 nights a week. So.
Well, I don't know about tonight, but I mean, just maybe sometime.
It's early yet.
Yeah, it's early yet. Exactly right. This is concept art of Ronald McDonald's family in DreamWorks movie that never got off the ground, which thankfully it didn't really.
Oh, no. What is that little weird thing supposed to be, like a pet of some sort?
A pet, I guess.
A squirrel? A Ronald McDonald
looks like
squirrel?
A squirrel. Yeah.
That's what the fuck?
A clown squirrel. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. How about no? Thank God.
Yeah.
See, sometimes Hollywood doesn't torture us.
Exactly. Webcam was invented in 1991 by researchers to check if the coffee pot in another room was empty or not.
What?
How about that? Webcams were invented first for that reason.
Just to know if the coffee pot was empty or not. That's awesome.
So they wouldn't have to get up and go in there for nothing. Why don't you go in there if it's empty, make a fresh pot for the office? You lazy sacks of... Anyway, here's your lizard
representation. No, they just sit there and wait for it to be full so they could walk in and... Oh.
Yeah. Shedding his skin. That's pretty cool, huh?
Eating him. Oh, no. He's eating that cord.
Oh! He's shedding his skin. He's not big.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Yeah. That was a gecko, wasn't it? With the face?
Looked like one, yeah. It looked like some sort of gecko.
I've got
Lorenzo
so many different
lizard representation.
Exactly. Now, Hojo. Now, this, I actually saved this picture. He's at Shenandoah Comic-Con, with his books.
Shenandoah, where the fuck is that?
This is not a reflection on Hojo or River City Comics or anything, but you need, and in fact, I will have a backup plan. Okay. Because, see, he's got a nice tablecloth, which I think should have his logo on there for one thing. But look at that backdrop. Oh, my God. Maybe you should bring a backdrop just in case they put you in a flea market style look. The backdrop was pitiful. It does not help.
A backdrop would help a lot. Yeah.
So if you have a backdrop.
Dude, backdrops they're not cheap, bro. You think it's just.
All you need is a bedspread that's printed on something large like that and fold it up and take it with you. Doesn't take up much room in your car, van, truck, whatever that you go to conventions.
Okay.
I wouldn't have thought about that, but I'm thinking about going to conventions.
Find something pretty goddamn cool for a bedspread. You should have like your logo or something behind it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't want to put up a, and I don't know if they let you tack up anything, but that looks kind of tacky. No, I mean, it is what it is. But
no, you gotta have like freestanding.
You gotta be prepared.
You gotta have a freestanding 2 little stands that you can spread out behind your booth, and then you can string a banner in between them. Yeah, but I mean that's just the way it is at most of these cons. They're not gonna let you tack anything on the wall or do anything like that. If you don't have your own support system and shit for your banner, then you're not hanging up your banner.
That's three things would be cool, and then you could kind of like box it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then put like Momentum Comics there, and then have Devil Flyer flying off in that direction, and have another character doing something.
But again, that's a good amount of money you're going to invest on those little curtains to put on those little frames.
Yeah, usually they're nylon or something. I can actually get those printed up for fairly reasonable, but
you could probably get them
somehow
like how Dark Gift does the tapestries. Where it's that really nice slick nylon stuff, so the wrinkles just come right out of it too. So that way you hang them. If you get there the night before, you hang them up. By the next day, they're going to be nice and smooth looking.
I might talk to him about, Anthony. Do they do larger ones and price them out? Because I can get something similar, but without the stand, printed up for less than $200 here in town.
Yeah, well, you can make your own stands, or figure out your own way of doing a stand or whatever. That's I mean.
If you had a folding stand that folded up and didn't take up much room, that would be ideal.
You just get like 3, like they call them a garment stand, but they just you just pop them apart into like 5 or 6 little pieces of tubing, and if you got like 3 of those, you could just close in your whole booth, hang your tapestries or whatever that you're using as your background around the 3 walls, and you're done, and you got nothing to worry about. Be easy as shit.
Newly uncovered evidence strengthens the case that Hunter Biden unlawfully acted as an unregistered foreign agent for Burisma as far back as the Obama administration while his father was vice president. Biden crime family exposed.
Oh, and Burisma, yeah, that's that.
Burisma,
oil company or whatever.
Maybe it's Bistro.
He was supposedly working for. The guy has no, experience or schooling anything about oil or the oil industry or how it works, but apparently he's worth, a lot of money to be some kind of consultant to these guys. What? Okay, interesting. It's very interesting.
Everybody, of course, I do my own thing. I shouldn't say everybody because Apel was doing, John Apel, he was doing page work, but everybody else was drawing Fembat. Now, Brent's mother's wake was yesterday, and he was supposed to be on the studio with Don, but didn't make it. But everybody was drawing Fembat except me and John. I was doing the bog round.
So
But here's Peter
do what
DeLuca.
everybody else is doing. No, you gotta just
I work on my own IP, Shadowhawk. If they don't want me on there because I only work on my own stuff, then so
you
be it.
know I'm fucking with you.
I know you are. But here, Peter DeLuca did a couple things. Here's Film Bat,
start out with
different color scheme. A little feedback from Shadowhawk would be appreciated. See what he thinks about Film Bat.
I gotta see it. I haven't had a chance to blow it up yet. Pretty cool. Ooh.
And another one.
Is you, Rex?
No, this is Peter DeLuca, aka
okay.
Pat.
Pad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like Peter. He's always got like kind of a little gritty kind of graffiti look to his style of stuff. Yeah, I dig it, man.
You gotta work the big boobage in though.
Dude, did you watch him do that Cyberfrog pog the other day?
I have not. No.
Dude,
was it a pog or it was a round? Now we're calling them pogs, right?
Well, it was a pizza round, but he ended up calling it at some point during the stream. He's like, it could be a Cyberfrog pog, or somebody in the chat said it, something like that.
Now they're stealing my thing. Okay. Not that what are we going to have next? Sketch rounds?
Oh, dude, we were in the chat talking about getting him hooked up with like Domino's and shit. You know, you get two medium pizzas with Cyberfrog pogs for $7.99 each. Saturday
deal. Yeah. You don't want the frog, you want the bog. Just saying.
That's right. Who needs a frog when you got the whole bog?
Just saying, yeah.
Right? Because a bog, there could be 1,000 frogs in that bog.
So think of something that wouldn't cost me a fortune that I could add to the big bundle.
Dude, we're totally echoing, all right.
Okay.
I don't know. Dude, I think you've got plenty already added to the box.
I'd like to do a shoulder patch, but I know
I'm gonna mute for a minute, smoke my cigarette, and I'll pop out and pop back in.
Okay. Pizza round clocks. Yeah. Yeah. And then you could have the ingredients as the numbers, right? Huh? Pepperoni, ham, Canadian bacon, whatever, bell pepper, onion, all the way around. I don't know. John's Longbox, he was on with us a little bit later on in the stream. Wow, 50 backers. Thank you so much. $1,624 raised in 6 days. He's a little nervy about it. It'll be up on Fund My Comic till July 26th, but he's a little bit nervy about it. We'll see if he exceeds or does less than the first one. I don't know. It is a hard sell. Here's some more lizard representation for you. Vintage photo for you from back in the kaiju days. That is Gorosaur, Gorosaurus, Geosaurus, whatever. Geosaurus, I don't know. I never watched a lot of those. I would like to, if they had something that just ran that stuff, 24/7s or whatever, I would eventually watch all the kaiju stuff for sure. Dragon Slayer from 1981. Nice poster artwork from that. Kate in Orlando. Yes, Kate. I saw you on the other stream earlier with Scarlet Fever. If you haven't seen that, she was on with Scarlet Fever. Kate, I loves you. And wow, we got a fever. We got a fever. A little fever raid going on here apparently because there's Scarlet Fever. What's up, everyone? Just stopping
Well,
in by stopping by to give a like and some love and have a great stream. Starting dinner, we'll be listening and lurking. Thank you, Scarlet. They were streaming earlier together. Thank you both for coming by and at least saying hi. We love you over here. You know we do. We loves you, olive oil.
Oh gosh, golly.
Yuck, 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 yuck. Perfect 10 by Mike Bowden. There you go. From Genuine Comics.
Oh, very cool.
She got a bigger gun than mine. No, really. I'm not afraid to admit it. I wear protection though. Anyway, this is cool. This is Raul Urias artwork from 1986. Nice, man. You got to get one of these for your hallway, Shadowhawk. For your look at that.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
RoboCop?
Yeah, RoboCop.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
dark
neat,
light. Yeah, like that neon. You can even see his robotized testicles, I think. I'm just saying. I like that though. I would love a poster like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, man. I've never seen that.
I've not either. I like it. I like it. And
that would look good in the old blacklight hallway though.
Oh yes, it will. Just along with that bog tapestry of yours, coming soon. You can put it next to Doc Blaylock's.
Yeah, I already got a. What's he called? The Golem. I got the Golem, and I got what's her name? The witch girl.
You don't just say the Golem. You go. You kind of cough it up.
What's her name?
Like you did in Lord of the Rings, right? Glow in the dark tapestry, yes. Yes, I will have it's not a glow in the dark tapestry, but it'll be light reactive colors. It will look kind of glowy, bog tapestry. Now available by itself. The acrylic standee is up there with free domestic shipping. The sticker book for $10 with free stickers, 6 a.m. sticker and Rob Ewing sticker up for $10, free domestic shipping. And the trading card set, free domestic shipping, free shipping, folks. Even Brent from Fembat, picked up on that. Now he's offering on the Dan Lawless for a little bit. He's offering free domestic shipping.
Cool.
I don't know that that's helped me that much. I don't know that it's helped him that much, but we're offering free.
It's not glow in the dark, Kate. It's blacklight. Like the old school 70s blacklight posters and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a tapestry.
It'll glow, but you gotta have a blacklight on it, to make it
blacklight.
It's reactive.
I want to do some glow in the dark stuff, Kate, but that is expensive. This is Tank Ferret's Fembat with Dracula in the background, and he kind of like the headdress kind of goes up and down, the way Apex draws it, but he kind of swayed it back. I kind of like the sway back design. It looks a little bit more realistic, I think.
Yeah, I dig it.
Have a helmet like that.
Yeah. It's a cool layout. Nice scene. I like it.
He did that on the Dawn show last night on the studio. So,
cool.
they had some good versions. They really did. They had some good versions last night of.
That's awesome.
Edwin Fox's birthday, 88. He was in Day of the Jackal, A Bridge Too Far, Go Between the Shooting Party, The Mirror Cracked the Dresser. Oh, what a lovely war. Gandhi, A Battle of Britain. That was a great movie. The Squeeze, Cat and the Canary, Robin Hood, Force 10 from Navarro, The Bounty, Edward and Mrs. Simpson, and Shaka Zulu.
Dude, I think I've seen most of those. What's it? Why do I not know the guy's name?
A British actor. Here he is later in
Okay,
life.
yeah, I remember
Yeah,
his
yeah,
face.
you'll recognize his face. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just by not by name. You know.
He was in a ton of stuff back in the day.
Oh yeah, he could play a stuffy British,
Mm-hmm.
posh Britisher.
Yeah, I think
That
most of those
voice.
war movies, he was usually playing like a British officer and shit. But yeah.
Here's you a cool retro Superman poster. That's awesome.
Oh, that's old school. The original S.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, even that's modified a little bit. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I
I
get
saw a thing recently that showed how the S had progressed over time, and I didn't show it because I thought it would be too small. Hojo said,
Okay.
had a blast bringing the mythicals to the masses at the convention. They didn't get all the extras you do when you come online. You're special. You make this work. Come and get it. The first orders go out this week, he says. And there you go, a linking cover that he did in there.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. The mythicals. That's the John Dillard up there in the right-hand corner transformation cover. That's one. That's one that was done by John.
Yeah.
Werewolf cover. I like the linking cover though. That's great. I love linking.
Yeah, the Lincoln cover is pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Dillard one. I got and I think I got the two on the bottom row. It was
Time
like
to
the
start
original.
time to start the what?
Looks
Time
like
to
steak.
start the
Looks like
not
a
sure what
steak.
it is.
Right.
A steak? Oh yeah. Okay. It does look like a steak.
That sounds good. What? We got any steak there?
Steak with a couple of peace signs. Yeah. I miss you, Kate. We're gonna have to talk sometime. Just catch up.
Wait, Terry. If I
other.
haven't said that, I'm sure I said
Just
hi.
talking with you. Today in 1985, "We Are the World" by USA for Africa reached number one on the
I
Billboard
graduated high
Hot
school
100.
in 1985.
We are the world. I was starting May of 85. I was starting college and meeting Elsie for the very first time shortly after that. Here's some vintage Viewmaster reels. Some Viewmasters coming soon by Dan Pleagle with Goblin Girl, and also the stalled track from
from is it Mark
Largent.
Mark Largent, yeah.
Laser Tag and Howard the Duck and Tron and Fraggle Rock. Wow.
Fraggle Rock.
I don't have any of those, but I do have a
few.
few. I know Elsie would buy Viewmasters and resell them on eBay.
Yeah, I didn't know they were like a collectible thing, man. I had a ton of them when I was a kid. I had like a whole stack of them. But
Friday the 13th, the final chapter premiered in theaters 41 years ago today in 1984. Another great movie from 1984. There were a lot of great movies in 84. 83, 84, 85, but I mean, 84 had the Terminator and maybe Predator and, some good movies that year. And I remember that year because that was my graduation year from high school. I did get some feedback from my photo that my sister took of me and I and my mother. And I got a comment saying Rex looks just like he did in high school, pretty much. Hasn't changed that much. I guess I haven't. 1978 today, the Reggie candy bar, named after Reggie Jackson, was introduced. The confection consisted of a circular bar of peanuts dipped in caramel and then covered in chocolate. Remind you of any other thing? I still remember, I didn't watch a lot of baseball, but I still remember him hitting 3 home runs and setting a record at the World Series for hitting 3 home runs in the I think it was the same game. Was it the same game? Jonathan Brandis, who's unfortunately dead now, today is his birthday. He was in the underwater thing. Forget what it was called on NBC. Anyways, died very young, unfortunately. Donna Summers, Hot Stuff. That was one of those disco things. 46 years ago, 1979. Gotta have some hot stuff, baby. Love that song.
Disco.
That's a good disco song. You can dance to it.
There's no such thing as a good disco.
Yes, there was. You could dance to it,
No,
and you could get laid to it. It was disco music was very suggestive.
Okay.
Prove me wrong. Play some of it. Listen to the lyrics.
I never had any trouble with rock and roll.
On Apollo 13, 1970, see how he averts and changes the subject. An oxygen tank exploded aboard Apollo 13, forcing the astronauts to use their intended moon landing craft as a lifeboat for a last return to Earth. I remember that. That was the most suspenseful TV 3 days in history, I think, ever. Made a big impression on me. I mean, we didn't know if they'd make it back to alive or not. It was very suspenseful at the time. Anybody that says it wasn't, that wasn't there to watch it. The Gods Must Be Crazy 2 opened in theaters 36 years ago in 1990. I watched the first movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy, when I was in, I think I did see the sequel when I was in college, because I was unaware of the movie till then. My sculpting teacher brought it to our attention.
Yeah, I forget where I first watched it, but yeah.
Gods Must Be Crazy, where a Coke bottle falls from an airplane and he thinks it's from God.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie progresses
bonks
from there.
Bonks the guy in the head.
In Africa, right? Now, if that actually happened, it would kill your ass.
Oh, yeah.
Severely
you'd be fucking deader than shit.
Yeah. If you got hit from thousands of miles up with a Coke bottle, which is pretty substantial.
It might have been thousands of feet, Rex. I don't think it was thousands of miles. It was like it was a smaller plane. It wasn't like
all right, let's say 1,500 feet. How about that?
Yeah, still though, that's a 16-ounce bottle of Coke in a glass
and
bottle.
You know how thick it is.
Yeah, it's gonna fucking cave your skull right in, dude.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. It's gonna cave your, Oh, actor Charles Napier, born in Mount Union, Kentucky, in 1936. Yesterday, we saw him on the Hell Comes to Frogtown trailer. Yeah. So his birthday yesterday. Of course, he's passed away now. But.
Oh yeah. He was in the sheriff in the first Rambo movie, Bushbuck.
Mm-hmm.
He was the sheriff that went after Rambo.
Yeah, great character actor. Did a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Had a great interview on Rex X and Apex yesterday with Tom Tuttle. Ask him some of the same questions from our first interview over on Apex's channel. But that's okay. I wanted to know, again, kind of a refresher for me. Was it a glass bottle? Yes, it was.
Yep.
What was his favorite? Did he read Tomb of Dracula back in the day? And in the comics? And what's his favorite vampire? His 5 favorite westerns and vampire movies, because his campaign's all about a western vampire. Happy birthday also to William Sadler, who was in Star Trek and a lot of other stuff. Do you remember any of his other stuff?
Oh yeah, I recognize a lot of his other stuff. I didn't know he was in Star Trek though.
Yeah. What else would you say he was in that you saw?
Oh God, he used to do episodes of Tales from the Crypt back in the day when
he
it was
played
on
good bad guys. He often played bad guys.
Yeah, he played like a bunch of like he did a bunch of different characters on Tales from the Crypt. Some of the horror TV shows from back in the day. Yeah, I remember seeing him in all kinds of. He played bad guys for the most part.
The Heavy Metal #1, they're dropping. That was a Kickstarter. They're dropping another page from that. It's now at the printers. So here's a vampire page, sort of comedy type thing. I don't know.
A little cartoony.
Nice colors though.
I mean, it's a little cartoony, but it's nicely rendered and shit. It's pretty cool. Got a little
if you get hit
up
from
there
say even 600 or 700 feet up in the air with a dropping bottle on the head, that's like a Coke bottle, glass bottle.
It's gonna fucking brain you, dude.
You're gonna get concussion or something from it.
Yeah.
Happiest of birthdays to Roy Richardson. Here's some of his work. Avengers Spotlight. You remember that title, probably. Did you ever buy any of those? I did. I didn't buy this one, but this is a later issue.
I don't remember if I bought Avengers Spotlight or not. I probably
did. I bought some of them. Yeah. Here's some.
What year were those? You remember?
Early 90s, apparently. That's what this one is.
All right. Well, then, yeah.
There's our character Stingray and Werewolf by Night.
I got all these, dude. I had the first, I think, 200 issues in a row of Marvel Comic Presents.
Yeah, I bought some of the Spotlights. I liked them. Of course, I liked Avengers. I can't say that I read. I probably read the first few issues and then I just collected it because it was Avengers. In between that, and West Coast Avengers and Force Works and the original Avengers, I was buying 4 or 5 Avengers titles there for a while. And
I almost forgot about Force Works. Yeah. That was
I don't know if Jimmy Palmiotti, but he posted this. He said, "Cool Sabasema page." So I'm assuming this is from his collection. I'm not sure. So there's Yellow Claw, I believe, what the character's name was, and Captain America. So yeah, I love Sabasema.
Yeah, Sal's good, dude. He doesn't get enough credit. Everybody talks about his brother, but Sal was good too. Sal did a lot of work on. He did a lot of work on
Rom, and this was after your time, but Amazing Spider-Girl or Spider-Girl titles.
Yeah, no, I never saw those.
DC Comics announced his Immortal Legend Batman, a 6-issue limited series coming out. The book releases under DC's Elseworlds label and is set in a futuristic world based on the superhero tokusatsu genre, whatever. I know I murdered that.
Okay.
Here's some of the artwork. I kind of like that. It's kind of like a what if type, Elseworlds. I like that type of stuff. And limited series, you either like it or not.
It looks a little bit like Fembat. Oh, come on now.
Again, kind of like
stealing our shit, man. DC fucking asshole.
Again, they're kind of hitting that manga type stuff. That looks very stylized, like the old Batman that cover that Todd McFarlane did. Very angular with the cape and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, from 1974, Tales of the Zombie #6. Love these old grayscale fully painted covers. I'm sure this is,
that's cool stuff.
You know, Elam cover or whatever his name is. Love his stuff. Always eye catching when they put this in an ad. You know, you would see the ad in the comics and you go, I want that, but you never could find it on the stands.
Mm-hmm. No, you got lucky, you happen to see it. You're like, oh yes, I gotta have it.
Remember when comics, the story used to bleed over onto the cover? Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to bring that back to comics more and more, not just do these pinup covers. You can do me a nice pinup cover. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm much more impressed with a story ideal cover, that has something to do with the story overall.
Yeah, I always liked it when it like gave you an idea of what was going on. It's like. And a lot of times they flat out just lied to you. The shit they showed you on the cover didn't even happen inside. But
that's
at
true.
least,
yeah.
At least it was
look
at
these Valkyrie covers, though. They all have something to do with what the story was about. This is when the female character went against the male characters in the Avengers. And here the Hulk had something to do with the story.
Right.
There you go. Nice double page spread. Look at that by John Buscema.
Yeah, that's cool.
And this is classic. Defenders #4, where they introduce her. I mean,
I got this one. Yeah, I got a couple.
Do you really?
Yeah, I got a couple of these.
We got to talk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll talk.
Besides the vintage Avengers, those early, I would say 1 to 60 Defenders. Yeah, of course, I've got some of those, but one of my first ones was Defenders.
I'm definitely have to go run through my Defenders for you then, dude, because I've got probably 20.
How'd you get the back issues? That's before I started collecting, before you started collecting. How'd you get something that early on? That's #4.
I used to buy out all of my friends when they fucking were like, oh, I'm too cool to collect comics anymore. I'm, trying to get laid now and shit. And I'd be like, dude, I'll give you $20 for your whole collection. I'll give you a fucking, I'll sell you a quarter ounce of weed. Give me all your comics. And I'd fucking just get everybody else's comics. And I fucking got tons of shit that was way before.
Here's our birthday boy in Day of the Jackal, 1973. Did you see Day of the Jackal with him in it?
Yeah, many a time back in the day.
And I recognize this actor. Wow, that's an early appearance by him. Day of the Jackal.
Mm-hmm. His name's not springing right to mind, but I know who that is.
It's not either, but I know I've seen him, and a lot of the British actors, just like stump me.
Yeah, I know that dude's face. Hey, Art and Times of James or Jay Ryan. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jay. Are these on your Twitter Rex? Some of them are. Yeah.
Star Trek: The Record. Was this like you could just listen to the?
Yeah, the Power Records. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
From the audio, right? From the cartoons.
Yeah, this was just the record, and not the one that had the comic and the record that told the story, and you followed along with the comic. This
right, was it actual audio from the show, or it was from the re-recorded audio that they did? Like for the animated show.
Don't know. Never had it.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. Sorry.
Yeah. Good question. Let's see what it says on there. It does say, let's see if I can embiggen that even more, and we'll see. 3 exciting new complete stories. So there's your answer. New stories. Altogether new. Just for Power Records. So they weren't things that came out previously.
So it was probably around the same time as when they were doing the animated. ones or something.
Some of the stuff I repost, some I don't. Most I do repost and I take from that. But now, like this, I'm actually going through some new stuff.
Just because it says new,
saying?
that doesn't tell us if it was the original voices, though. Is it?
Oh, you want to know if it's original voices? Don't.
Right? Is it Leonard Nimoy? Is it William? What the fuck's his last name? Brain.
Don't know.
Captain Kirk.
Ricardo Villagran, who did Star Trek in the DC Comics, it's his birthday today. Here's some of his work.
Oh, okay.
Star Trek New Frontiers. I don't know if that was a title. I guess it was. Mike W. Barr wrote that. Star Trek. I've got a lot of original Star Trek. Now that's Mirror Menace. I'd like to read that. That's cool. It's number 10. Mind meld there.
I never bought any
Mirror
TV show comics.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of weak, but now the Mirror is kind of neat. New things, with the Spock, Leonard Nimoy with the goatee and the mustache. That's always cool.
I don't know, but it was like even when I was a kid, like when I was 10 or 11, I was like, I ain't buying these fucking. It's based on.
I didn't do that with Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, or any of them.
I didn't buy any of them.
No.
I got one, the Treasury Edition of the Star Wars, number 1. The big oversized Treasury Edition. That's the one exception to the rule that I got, just because I happened to come across it. And I was like, I gotta get it, But other than that, I haven't bought any of the Star Wars, Star Trek, any of Lost in Space. None of those count.
We'll round out the show with this. Do you know who this gentleman is? And I don't expect you to know who this is, but interesting story.
Looks like Bruce Campbell with a crazy beard.
Okay.
Boomstick. All right. Who is it?
Good guess, though. He almost, really, if you take a look at his face and you take away the facial hair, he looks a lot like Charles Manson. Does he not? Does he not?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm imagining,
with the eyes and stuff. Oh, and he uses a little X on his
forehead. Yeah.
That is John Liver Eating Johnson. John Liver Eating Johnson was a name that struck fear across the Rocky Mountains, especially among the Crow Indians. After a group of Crow reportedly killed his wife and unborn child, Johnson went on a brutal path of revenge. Over the years, he is said to have killed around 113 Crow warriors. Legends say of him cutting out and eating their livers as a message of vengeance. To the tribes, he became a ghost story, a living legend, the boogeyman of the frontier. This is one of only 3 photos known of him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Is that what they based Jeremiah Johnson on?
Well, that's what I thought, because the name is Johnson. So, yeah, they probably did a little bit on that. I'm going to say yes, without really knowing.
I mean, that's the first thing that sprung to mind, though. It sounds very similar to the story. He's out for revenge. He loses his wife and kid to fucking Indians. Wow. Crazy.
Another story, Beulah, you may not know her, Arculeta. I think she was in I know she was in other westerns I've watched. I think she was in.
I'm just sitting outside. Give me a second. Maybe it clears up once I walk back in. It might just be because I'm sitting in the doorway. Are we better now? Or do I need to drop out?
No, we're so close to the end, and this is the last thing I'm going to share. I think Beulah Arculeta was in the western one time in the Old West or whatever. Anyway, while filming The Searchers in 1956, she was found crying by John Wayne in between filming scenes. When Wayne asked her why she was crying, she responded that she was going to miss her son's wedding Due to the filming schedule, Duke stopped the production for a couple of days and flew her out to California so she could attend her son's wedding. That's cool. And there she is with the Duke
That's
filming
awesome.
Searching. And
Yeah,
that's Jeffrey Hunter there on the right.
John Wayne was a good dude.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to believe that that's not his real hair. It's a hairpiece. For most of his career, he wore a toupee.
It's okay, Gary.
Please
All
dip
right.
out
Well,
and
I'm
come back.
gonna pop on out of here since we're echoing anyhow. Hey, all, I love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. And 3 o'clock comes early, so time for me to get on out here.
All right, I want your opinion on this before you pop out. Okay, maybe not. Skip that. Not to prolong your agony. King Cryptid 5x7 by Pete Samedi. Very nice. Very nice. I'm glad that he's kind of ramped up and did, found a neat niche, because while he was promoting others and running his publishing empire, and then, lost about half or more of his creators there in one fell swoop, and now he's doing a lot more. Artistically, I'm glad. Absolutely. We all need to do some more artistically. I will probably no probably do a draw stream later tonight. Here is an interesting fact. Morgan Freeman wears earrings that are worth enough to pay for a coffin in case he dies in a strange place. This is actually an old sailor's tradition. Bet you didn't know that. Sorry, I already hit the button. What did you want? I was just going to show you a Captain America picture and get your opinion about how they drew him. A little feature on that. That's okay. Speaking of ROM, here's an awesome ROM card there. Look at that. ROM eventually won me over some, because the artwork and the stories were just so cool. Look at the Kirby crackle on that. Hell yeah. I just didn't like that he was a toy. Now that's good design around the edge. I really like that. Very cosmic. With the old temples and the planets and stars in the background with the technical look around it. That's a cool trading card there. That I will put on my X and make sure I retweet that for everybody. And usually something like that for reference, I send to Shadowhawk. There you go. Done and done. A nice Rocketeer piece here. Love some Rocketeer. Usually retweet Rocketeer. Let's see who did that one. That is Benton Jew. Okay. Unfamiliar with him. Oh, that's kind of cute. Soon Mice on the Moon. That's probably about right. And then we'll really find out if it's made of cheese. How about that? That's cute, though. Very film-badish here. If you thought that other one from Jason Metcalf, Batgirl piece. Let me see. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? They're wrong. A little tropish, always with the gargoyle or the little thing underneath, Of course, that says you're in the city. But that's been done and done and done and done. And I've had it done too. Another werewolf piece here, very classic, little rump there too, huh? A little ta-ta. Oop, there it is. And we'll end it on that one because that one's, yeah. Hope that don't get us struck down. Anyway, keep collecting. We will see you again tomorrow. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you may view it, Super 7 Shadowhawk says on the 4 o'clock channel, I think is doing new room toys. Very cool. I know what you mean. ROM, damn, spell incorrect. Yeah. Super 7. Yeah, I don't know that I've seen any. I think we featured one on here, but yeah, ROM's cool. I'd like to see Godzilla kick his ass, though. That'd be cool. ROM versus, because it was a big toy. Not so big, normal size human. But ROM versus Godzilla. Like to see that. Just would. Or King Kong, for that matter. That'd be cool. Anyway, I hope you make good life choices this week coming up. I will be on with Janet from Another Planet Thursday. We have Carissa coming on Wednesday. Trying to line some other people up for interviews this month, but for the most part, I'll be working on cleaning, finding scripts, getting to them to Keith, to Letter, get those finalized, make sure, read. So Shadowhawk, I may have some editing for you to kind of look at some things. I don't know. We'll see. I'll be working on the campaign too, the John Buscema campaign, and tweaking the campaign over on Fund My Comic. If you haven't, Splat. That's Splat Goes the Weasel. If you haven't checked out Devil Flyer, you need to really check it out. We've made some changes to it. I'll be making some changes to it tonight. Probably will do a draw stream later. Simply because I can. And I need to get some more drawing in. I know I want to finish this round. There's not much I need to do to that and then start something new. And usually LZ wants to, I don't know if he'll be available tonight. I think I've already talked to him on the phone. I can't remember. I really can't remember. I think I talked to him late last night. It was late last night. So I think he said he was going to be kind of busy today with the youth town and everything. So may not be able to get him on, but I'll send him the link anyway. And so if you're interested in drawing later, they'd probably be around 10:30 or so. I don't know. I may start it before then. And then if he comes in, he comes in. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Just whenever I feel like, doing it. Pumpkin, the Compass Comic mascot, kind of like my Zigzag character, and Abby, on mine, kind of represents. But I guess Pumpkin is sort of their mascot for Compass Comics. Didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that with us, Graham. Good night, all. Exactly. The long goodbye, as usual. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow on the 4 o'clock shadow and maybe even sooner. Bow for now.